What's good, everyone? Welcome back for another session and showcase. I read a poll earlier this morning on which unit to showcase. Between the two options were the physical type Piccolo here and also the free-to-play physical type Super Saiyan 3 Broly. Looks like the majority voted on the Piccolo unit, so here we are and testing out the unit at 100% potential with max level links. As always, if you do enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe. So let's talk about the unit real quick. Again, this is the transforming Piccolo that fused with Kami, so Kamicolo essentially. Leader skills: Namekians, category key +4, HP attack and defense increase 170%, or the Worthy Rivals category key +3, HP attack and defense increase 150%. Without the transformation, the super attack ability is the ability to raise defense and cause immense damage to enemies. So you'll see that around turn 11 for this showcase, I essentially transformed one version of the Piccolo and left the other one untouched, just to have them link up together. So that's pretty much what to expect here. The passive skill is attack and defense increase 100%, recover 7% HP whenever HP is 77% or less, and then also foresees enemy super attack. Now the condition for the active skill is basically you'll be able to activate it once HP is 70% or more with another Namekians category ally on the team starting from the 4th turn from the start of battle. And this is one time only, obviously, but because of that, you do have to kind of think about what teams to go with for this guy, because you do require a Namekian ally on the team in order to transform. Alright, we're not going to talk about the links or categories just yet. Let's just skip to the transformed state. The super attack, once transformed, Piccolo's super attack ability will greatly raise attack for 1 turn, causes immense damage, and a high chance of stunning the enemy. So he loses the ability to stack up the defense. So again, the ideal way to go about it is stack up the defense, the early parts of the battle, and once you feel ready and comfortable with his defensive stats, then you can transform. In terms of the passive skill, upon the transformation, attack and defense increase 120%, reduces damage received by 40%, chance of performing a critical hit plus 10% to 40%. The more HP remaining, the higher the boost, and then recovers 10% HP whenever HP is 77% or less, and also foresees enemy super attack. So the last part of the passive skill is still kind of similar, bump in the HP recovery and whatnot. In terms of links, so Z Fighters at level 10 is attack increase of 20%, Experienced Fighters is attack increase of 15%, Namekians recover 7% HP and attack and defense increase of 7%, Brainiacs is attack and defense increase of 15%, Shocking Speed is key +2 defense increase of 5%, Cold Judgment is defense increase of 25%, and then Fierce Battle at level 10 is attack increase of 20%. In terms of the categories for this unit, Namekians, Worthy Rivals, Android, Cell Saga, Bond of Master and Disciple, Final Trump Card, Battle Wits, and Prodigious Warriors. Like you saw, 100% potential, HP is 19,065, attack is 16,156, and defense is 10,953. 12 key multiplier is 150%. So like I said, the transformation will take place around turn 11 if I'm not mistaken, and I essentially just wanted to link up both of the units together. So that's pretty much the plan I had in mind to showcase the unit. Just wanted to activate, since it is a level 10 showcase, so to speak, I wanted to activate as many links as I could, and the best way to go about it is literally just pair them up with the untransformed version of the physical type Kamicolo, and that's pretty much the way to activate the majority of links. And you'll see supporting floaters on rotation, like the STR Beers, for example. I think in this case I did kind of focus a little bit more on defense, because it is at the end of the day a very, very defensive unit. I threw in units like the MVP 17 that provides not only a key boost but also that defensive boost to allies as well. So that's kind of the thought process going into it. And depending on what units you have in the floater position, this is a really, really good defensive rotation. I mean, you can mitigate a lot of damage with this, because again, the untransformed version will remain able to stack up defense. Along with that, certainly gets 100% toward defense. So very, very good in that regard. And then the transformed version of Piccolo, obviously, you can stack up the defense to a certain level, and then once you transform, you know, along with getting defense increase 120%, you're also reducing damage received by 40% on top of that. And, you know, you've got HP recovery embedded within the passive skill. So it's a very strong unit from, I don't know, I would say like an overall team synergy standpoint, I guess. Like you want a blend of, you know, offensive units as well as defensive units. So, you know, ideally the way to run it, I mean, you would have to literally put him in the first or second slot to, you know, take advantage of the ability to stack defense, and obviously his defense because of that is you know, far greater than a lot of the units that you might potentially include on the team. So again, it's a little bit wonky because the active skill you do have to include a Namekian category unit, and you know, it's a little bit limited in some regard in terms of like team building options, I guess, in a way. But I think in addition to that, you know, my personal take is the Worthy Rivals category does have some decent units, but I think it's a little bit lackluster or light from a team building standpoint. You're a little bit limited, especially from support standpoint. You don't really have that many options. And again, I did bring in the SDR Beerus, you know, not the greatest link set to Piccolo by any means, but you know, decent enough unit, and provides a pretty decent boost to Worthy Rivals category units. So, you know, I could have thrown in other units like the Tech Father and Son, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, but I wasn't necessarily 100% on how this guy would do linked up with some of the other units, especially given that unit, you kind of, if I remember correctly, you have to have at least 2 Vegeta units to activate the passive skill for ally support in terms of like attack and defense, as well as the key boost. So a little bit, you know, you kind of have to think about it a little bit more in terms of the way to go about building the team. Again, like I really wanted to be more defense centric for this one, but also included, you know, the Paikuhan units, more or less just because the link sets. Not that it really matters when you pair up both of the Piccolos together, but you know, honestly, out of curiosity, I just wanted to see how those guys would perform. They're also level 10, maxed out. I did showcase them a while back, but just to give you a little bit more context, both of those Paikuhan units are at 100% potential with level 10 link sets across the board. So if you're interested to see how they are, certainly check out the showcase on my channel for it. Otherwise, outside of that, this, you know, Piccolo unit's very good. The only unfortunate thing about this is you rarely see the leader, friend leaders, or guest leaders for that. And again, underlying issue with Dokkan, that's a whole separate conversation in itself. But, you know, it does kind of irritate me sometimes, I'd say more times than not. But, you know, you're looking to run a certain team, or you know, I'm working on a certain showcase for a very specific unit that's in one of the categories a little bit more uncommon, so to speak, and it just gives me headaches every time I have to look for it. You know, you got to go into Infinite Dragon Ball History or Boss Rush and exit out and look for a friend again, blah blah blah. You know the drill. You know the process that goes behind it. But yeah, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass in that regard. But hopefully, you know, with the improvements they've been rolling out recently, they kind of, you know, look into this and eventually address that one, because it's been a problem for a few years, and I would imagine like most people would be happy with that change. You know, are you gonna lose some exclusivity by, you know, having friends that, you know, have some unique units? Potentially, but you know, I don't think it's worth the bragging rights to deal with the inconvenience that we go through right now. So that's probably the best way to put it in terms of what my opinion is on the matter. But again, like I said, that's a whole different beast of a conversation itself. So, you know, we'll deal with that when the time comes, I guess. But yeah, I mean, anyways, you know, Piccolo's not really covered as much, but, you know, certainly a good unit, and very, very strong defensive unit, and, you know, can certainly put up some numbers. You know, given the way the team structure was for this one, I think it's, you know, closer to like the 3 million region, you know, with the crits built in for additional, you know, anywhere from 10 to 40% depending on your HP levels. You've got the recovery HP option as well, and you know, in certain cases you can foresee enemy super attacks that may potentially be very, very beneficial to have, you know, especially, you know, if you're in very, very tough battle settings and stuff like that. It could certainly be beneficial. I forgot, I did include like 3 clips from a separate run that did include the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, so the team build for that one was a little bit different, so you might, you know, be able to see a little bit difference there in terms of like performance. But otherwise, like I said, you know, great unit. I think you know, a little bit forgotten in a way, but certainly still a relevant unit in terms of, you know, being able to compete in events and battles and whatnot. And yeah, I like the unit a lot. I think, you know, with the same name stuff, you know, it's kind of interesting to see how that would play out from, you know, building a team around Namekians and stuff like that, including more than one Piccolo unit. Of course, you have to be a little bit careful about how you plan out your rotations because, you know, it's going to be difficult in terms of like having LR Piccolo, for example, paired up on a rotation with, like, for example, you have two of the same Piccolos, you know, if it's just a transforming version versus not. So I guess in that regard, it might work out. But I don't know. Maybe I'll look into it, run a team with level 10 Link's Namekian squad or something. We'll see what happens. But I've got plenty of archives for the time being. And again, I will most likely post the free-to-play physical type Super Saiyan 3 Broly showcase at some point this week. I just wanted to give you guys an option to choose. So, you know, if you don't follow me on Twitter, definitely follow me there because I might do this periodically or weekly or whatever and just kind of get you guys to decide ultimately what you want to see first. Alright, so with that being said, hopefully enjoy the 100% potential showcase with max level links for the physical type transforming Piccolo. As always, thanks for watching. I will catch you guys later. Alright, peace out.